Listen, that will piss me off. I mean, we've seen Goku die enough times already, so it's like at this point, it's whatever, you know. But I feel like if they were to do that, they would try to pull some shit like that's how they write him off completely. And I don't know if they're gonna do that because
imagine just imagine this, right?
Oh, that's that good shit.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ooch. I'm here with my brother Ooch and the homie Kai, and we are back again, once again. How y'all doing today? Boys, girls, children of all ages, Dragon Ballers. We are here. The trifecta is ready to go for another episode of Full Power Podcast. It's your host who tries to know as well the most that we possibly can. You know, I myself am in prime position here because this is the first time I'm literally coming straight out the gym, so I'm feeling a little swole like Brother Ooch right now. But speaking of which, Brother Ooch, how you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good, you know. Got off all work, got the gym done, had to do what I had to do, you know. Now it's pod time, so you know the vibes.
Yes, I do. Indeed, I do. Kai, how about yourself, sir? How you doing today?
I'm a pass. Thank you very much. I'm a hard pass.
I'm a hard pass. Alrighty. Well, hopefully with what we're talking about today on this here episode, hopefully this turns that pass into a bunch of laughs and shenanigans, as we always do, because that's kind of what we do here. You know, we're all about the good vibes.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly. So why don't we just get into it, right? So I didn't prep these young men today for a reason, because I needed the raw reaction. Okay, I needed the raw reaction to the slight drama that took place earlier this morning. So this morning. Yes, this morning. So funny enough, right? This is not often where something happens the day of and it's like, oh, like, what do you know? Like, it's on podcast recording day, right? And I was like pretty prepared to talk about some other things, right? Like, I gotta give a shout out to someone who actually reached out to us via email, which if we have time today, we're obviously gonna bring that up and talk about it. If not, there's always another episode to do that. So shout outs to you know who you are. And remember, as a reminder, if you guys want to hear us talk about whatever your comments, concerns, questions might be for future episodes, hit us up, fullpowerpod@gmail.com. That's fullpowerpod@gmail.com. And obviously you can leave a comment and all that stuff and answer the Spotify polls if you're listening. But if you're not watching, you're missing out. But anyways, all those things aside, right? This morning, there was a little bit of drama. A little bit. I say a little bit because it wasn't really like, you know, it wasn't like the end of the world kind of thing, right? However, when there's a debacle in Dragon Ball community, okay, shit can get a little out of hand, right? And this is what makes it interesting. It's about my boy Broly. Ugh. So, what's going on, right? So there's some recent scans that came out earlier this week in Japan, and since we're now officially in May, right? This month is a huge month for Dragon Ball in its entirety because of the movie, right? The movie is coming out very soon, next month to be exact, in Japan, of course, right? Still at this point in time, no official release date as to when that movie will be released outside of Japan. But, you know, because of all this knowledge and fact, May, this is the month leading into it, this is going to be a huge newsworthy month. Like every article, magazine, any corner, nook, nanny, whatever, they're going to have something to talk about this movie to promote it. Because they're trying to make sure they're putting asses in seats. Okay? So with these recent scans, they were kind of talking about like some very generic kind of stuff with like all of the characters and whatnot. But Broly, right, had his own page. Okay? He had his own page, and there was a lot of interesting things that kind of hinted at certain things that maybe could be started, like as in we start seeing the process begin in this movie. And then, you know, it goes to the extreme thought of, yo, what if we do see it in this movie? Which I don't think it will happen, but here it is. So here's where the whole like drama part comes in. I'm gonna throw out a blanket statement, and then Kai, I want to hear your immediate thoughts, and then Brother Uzi, I want to hear you after, okay? Broly Super Saiyan Blue.
Unnecessary, not needed, no, just no. Absolutely the fuck no.
Okay, Brandon?
Wait, is this like real? Like
Official scan.
official?
I want to hear your thoughts on just that blanket statement. Like, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think Super Saiyan Blue Broly?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear that shit is no.
I feel like that just changes the dynamic if it's true. Like, why does he need that?
Okay.
Or like, not even why does he need it, maybe, or like what, like the whole spiel we've been talking about the true Super Saiyan, like, does it debunk that now? Like, as far as does the like how strong is he gonna be at Super Saiyan Blue rather than his true Super Saiyan Rage or whatever, you know?
These are all very good thoughts to have. Instinct, like right off rip. Okay.
This is Dragon Ball.
Anything else you want to add in there, Kai, or you just no?
I mean, it really is just no, because I mean, I get it, like, technically speaking, even though he's already at that level, he wasn't using the form to be at that level, so I can understand people's desire and explanations as to why he needs it as a power-up, or like, but guess what? Shut the fuck up. No, he doesn't.
But why would people even say that? Why does he need it?
Because it's like, oh, even though he was already fighting against Blue Gogeta and holding his own against them when they were split, it's like, realistically speaking, that man fought them with regular old Super Saiyan. Like, just his version of it, yeah, because his is a little more, hulked up. But other than that, yeah, it's like, I understand people's points where it's going to be like, yeah, but imagine Broly, if he was using blue when he fought them, he would have killed them. It's like, all right, cool, but Broly's green, not blue, so he needs to have something else. And we've been talking about exactly what form to give him. So if they give him blue, I'm going to be shaking my head the whole time.
I don't even, like, with that whole statement, kind of, like, I feel weird about it, because, like, Super Saiyan Blue Goku / Vegeta couldn't stand up to his regular Super Saiyan, true Super Saiyan, what we say. Like, so why does Broly, the only reason Broly lost that fight was because Gogeta's OD. and Broly couldn't catch up in time.
Right.
But the argument is that if he had blue, then he would have washed them.
But we don't know that.
All right,
wait. Pretty clear.
Pause. Okay. This is. I love this. This is fucking full power.
But we don't know.
This is what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
This is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is great. This is good juice right here. This is a good start. Okay, I'm gonna cut both of y'all off right there. Okay, because now I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. Okay, I wanted to get y'all juices flowing just off of that. Okay, because
this bitch ripe. I don't know what you talking about, juice.
No. Listen. Check this out. Right. So, the whole thing that happened this morning, right, was off of well, not really this morning. It was more of like last night into this morning, right? So, our brother Geekdom, right? Shouts to Geekdom. He made a video talking about this exact scan, right? And if you guys are familiar with Herms, at least you've heard the term, right? Or not term, but that is an actual person.
The translation.
Exactly. If you're watching, listen, you don't know what fucking Herms is, well, here you go. Herms has literally been translating things for Dragon Ball community and probably other things for over 20 years, okay? He's pretty much the guy, okay, that you would pretty much look at for any kind of translation, especially for things that obviously were not officially translated by like Viz or whoever, right? So Herms gave the translations literally in a DM to Geekdom, right? And then Geekdom made a video about exactly the good key talking points of these scans were, right? And I'm gonna read you guys what was said, right? And this is some really good shit, right? So basically, right, what Herms states in from the translation, it says that when discussing Super Saiyan Blue, it notes how Broly had trouble fighting it and says this is probably the best transformation to aim for. And why do you might ask? He puts in parentheses, since everything is framed in terms of Broly, because that's what the scan, like the scan was all about Broly in this page, right? I think the idea is that Broly should try to get Super Saiyan Blue. And this is where things get kind of get out of hand, right? Because even Geekdom was saying, only talking about the translation itself, like that little paragraph, he was only breaking down the idea, not the actuality, but the idea that if Broly is to ever learn, right, how to maintain his shit properly so that he can like harness it and, you know, use it a little more effectively, because, you know, obviously, like, when you're more in control of shit that you got, you know, with come experience as well, you're just gonna be OD overall even more than when you were out of control, right? And the reason, and then this also ties into something else that Geekdom put it out there for people to also, as a reminder. And he took this shit from the anime, okay? It was a picture with the subtitles of when Goku was in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, all right? So shout outs to that shit. And he says, and it says right here, Super Saiyan Blue is a combination of strength and a calm mind with proper ki control. So I was reminded of something this morning.
Hold on though.
Okay, go ahead.
I need to remind you that Super Saiyan Red is the exact same thing, perfectly described. Blue is Super Saiyan on top of Red.
Right, and that's probably why they're not even bothering mentioning God at all.
They're literally just using God and calm as synonyms in these descriptions.
Pretty
God
much.
anything means calm everything.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
The only people that don't have that are destructions. Like, you know, like all the people using that type of like aura and shit like that. Those are the only people that can just like let loose, and that's godly rage.
Right. So with all that in mind, right, I had to take a step back because I didn't realize, I really forgot that Super Saiyan Blue is, you know, exactly what you were saying. Like, it's basically a stack. It's Super Saiyan with God. They used to call it already Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Remember when they used to call that shit that?
Right.
OD. Yeah. So since all of that, right, is a thing.
Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Kaioken's instinct.
Right. since all this is a thing, and I totally forgot, like, oh, like, it's about a calm mind and proper ki control, which is exactly what Broly is inevitably going to like have to learn, which I'm sure Goku is gonna have a hand at teaching Broly how to attain that. So the idea of him reaching for that as, like, you know, something like a form of a power up, like if he was to, you know, use that kind of ki to help him control himself, I mean, it makes sense. I didn't know. No, wait, but it makes sense, but it doesn't mean I want it to happen. Okay? There's the fine line difference, is that for its purpose, it makes sense. Do I want to see it happen based off of everything else that we've been talking about? No. But that's besides the point, right? So where is the drama part coming? Well, our other boy, Dragon Ball's DBS Chronicles, okay, they went ahead and made statements almost as if they were trying to debunk what Herms was putting out there for Geekdom to basically put out there as well. So like, it's like he was trying to like challenge them, which I'm like, how would you challenge Geekdom and Herms? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how it came off. Now, fortunately, there's, like I said, it's not really drama because there was no like beef or anything like that. You know, there was no like arguing or anything like that. This even Chronicles, I'll put it out there. He even said like, yo, this is not me trying to like, you know, come at them or anything like that. Like, I'll just, you know, kill that off right now in case anyone's like thinking like, oh my God, like, was he really trying to like, no, there is no challenging Geekdom. Okay, there's no challenging people that have been around and they literally do this for a living at this point, right? Like, this man literally has a house because of the Dragon Ball content he's been putting out for years and years and years at this point, right? I'm pretty sure the dude knows what the fuck he's talking about, okay? When you have a guy that can literally quote, reference specific episode titles, don't come at them, okay? Like, we know what we're talking about, but I can't do that, okay? Like, off rip, like I'm not gonna lie and pretend like, oh yeah, episode fucking 260 something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like I barely remember episode titles as it is. You know, I remember when certain things happen, like key things, right? But I don't know Dragon Ball to that extent, okay? Geekdom is on his own plane of existence when it comes to that shit. So that's where I'm just like, bruh, why would you do that? So he was pretty much saying like when he was trying to translate it, he was saying like, it does not anywhere state that Broly is aiming for blue. Everything here is about Goku Super Saiyan Blue form, not Broly aiming for blue. Since Super Saiyan Blue Broly gave Broly a hard time, it's considered to be a great Goku form. That's it. And that's like kind of where like the whole back and forth thing started happening, because like, again, we even talked about this previously in another episode where, you know, when you do translations for especially Japanese, a lot of times it's not even like, there's no direct translation. It's kind of like the best way you can interpret it and then make it make sense for English, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's kind of where that's kind of like where this whole back and forth shit was, that what was going on. And yeah, I was also chiming in because I'll admit this, like when I first saw Chronicles tweet about what he was trying to put out there, I was agreeing with him. I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense, because to me, I automatically think back to everything that we talk about, right? It's like the primal instinct, the fact that the true Super Saiyan could literally be what a Super Saiyan 4 would look like, aka primal instinct. You know what I'm saying? We want Broly to be that guy, the first one. He deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Goku and Vegeta get their own shit. They're on levels beyond, you know, imagination at this point. And just off of how the story has been told to us, it just makes the most sense that the guy that tapped into his great ape power without being a great ape and then some, this guy deserves to be the first fucking, you know, primal instinct, if they even decide to call it, which people actually, I should also put this out there, people are a fan of that term, so shout outs to us. But surprisingly, I'm like, how the fuck did no one hear about this, man? We've only been talking about this shit for like 3 years at this point, but you know, whatever. Better late than never, I guess, if you're late to the party, right? So
how do we know that a bunch of people like that now? Like,
like I was trying to say, was that when I was interacting with literally both of their tweets. Like, Chronicles would say something, I put something out there. Geekdom would DM me, showing me like all this shit. And then he would, you know, and then I would respond to like tweets like that. And then like I was basically like, okay, like I stand corrected. Now, like I never realized Super Saiyan Blue was like this. And I was like, you guys, like Geekdom, you already know that like I want him to go Primal Instinct. And then like there was people under my tweet that was like, yo, that's a fire term. And I'm like, oh, you know, like we've only been talking about this fucking shit for 3 years. Yeah. So, you know, like that's that's like, you know, it is what it is, right? But it's okay, because now that people are starting to like, really talk more about this, like, I'm glad that people, at least now, like I said, better late than ever, are catching on, and like, if they see us or hear us talking about this, then it's a grander takeaway. Like, yo, these dudes have been on their shit. I can't believe I never, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are a part of the education, enlightening, and entertainment part of all of this stuff. Okay, because we're just 3 Dragon Ballers. I'm gonna start saying that now. We're Dragon Ballers. Okay, that's like, yes, that, because like, we're just 3 freaking dudes that have love this shit enough to where we talk about it every week on a very like we're out there, like, to the point where it's like, if we try to talk to anyone that's like not on the same like mental process, if that makes sense, we feel like we're out of place. if that makes sense.
So I'm still a little confused. What exactly is this beef that's been going on?
So, like I said, it's not really a beef, but it was just the fact that Chronicles was trying to stand by his own translations that he did, while trying to say like, oh, he was not trying to shit on Geekdom or Herms.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, I mean, because it's like, dude, it's like a...
So this was just misinterpretational drama.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, because now that this whole thing has been a conversation, you know how it goes. Even something that's fake will be talked about for weeks. Okay, like the Raditz situation. Okay, like,
oh my God,
that fake shit came out and people were literally trying to make it make sense. Like, oh, yo, but what if this? What if that? What? We even humored it for the sake of the podcast.
They really had to have this whole chapter. My son's thriving well. Like, oh my God,
and yo,
what timing,
dude. Do you see what I mean? Like, things even on an official level, like that came out, okay, off of Viz, and as soon as people read that chapter, they take everyone does it, right? You take what is there literally, and then you go with it. But then there's people like Herms that are out there that know Japanese. They go to the original, they read it, and then they come back saying like, oh, I can see why they translated it like this, but if you want it to be a little bit more direct, then this is kind of more of what Bardock meant to say. And that's, like, it's OD, because this kind of thing even happens with the anime. Like, because it's like, it depending on what dub you watch, because if you're watching the ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z, you're gonna think shit differently or understand things differently. If you're gonna watch the dub that came after that, you're gonna think things about certain things differently. But if you're 100% purist and you watch the original Japanese, you're gonna look at Dragon Ball all overall in a completely different light. And that's why it's a little, I feel like it is a little important to at least, like, it depending on where you're from, right? Because obviously we're biased towards, like, US releases. Like, I've never, outside of when I was a kid and I randomly stumbled upon Dragon Ball Z in Spanish when I was super young. Brandon, you weren't even fucking born yet, okay? But this was during a time where I was like, why the fuck is Dragon Ball Z in Spanish? I hear this shit enough around the house, okay? I don't need to hear this shit on my fucking TV. So I would just not watch it in Spanish back in the day, right? But I say that it's important to, obviously watch it in your native language if it's available, but always check how it was originally in that Japanese version. And then even, sometimes you might even have to fucking look into if there was any kind of like mistranslations or some shit like that, because that's a thing too. And that's why people like Herms exist, because they're the ones that, as fans for all these years, they're the ones that let people know online, hey, even though it says this, it could also be taken this way as well. So shit's crazy. And like that literally happened with the Thrive thing, like with chapter 83. It was like, people thought like, how does this wish even make sense? Because like, you know, again, up to interpretation. Did Raditz thrive? Did Raditz not, you know, did Raditz thrive or did he not thrive? Our initial answer was no. Because that motherfucker died frame 1 as soon as we saw him. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, not frame 1, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm exaggerating, but like, he did not last past a certain point early on in the story. Never seen again outside of filler, if anything. Never like, dude, I don't even remember if he ever came up in conversation. And if he did, it doesn't matter. It went right over our fucking heads. He was a character that served his purpose. Boom, bam, bop, done. Right? Other people consider him, even lasting as long as he did, thriving. But at the end of the day, that's not even what the fucking thing was originally meant to say. The translator just took it up to their own understanding, interpretation, and that's what they wrote in the fucking manga, and that's what we got. But as we know, Bardock intended to say something along the lines of, I just want my sons to grow up strong or whatever. Which, that even makes a little bit more sense, you know, just because for the most part, I mean, they definitely did.
No, it still doesn't. Raditz did not grow up strong.
Well, hey, listen, for what it was worth, he was strong enough to literally fucking handle Goku, no problem. He handled Piccolo. They had to team up, and then Goku had to hold his ass
of
down.
The last remaining Saiyans.
How you say what?
He literally could have been flicked away by like fucking Nappa and Vegeta. He was the prelude to them. Like he was still the weakest of the last remaining bunch. So what kind of fucking wish is that?
Well, listen, like that's the part of the mystery, and not even mystery, but the shit that took place off screen that we didn't even get to see. You know, because in Dragon Ball, Goku literally almost died twice. Actually, he did die one time and just magically came back to life with no explanation. His heartbeat went and he just started breathing again. Okay, that happened in Dragon Ball. We don't even like we could only imagine what kind of shit they went through, and by they I mean Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta, when they were off for all those years doing whatever during that time, you know. And who's to say Raditz didn't come into some kind of like instance where he died or could have died or was close to dying, and then he didn't, you know, like in any other situation, like, but we'll never know that because unless, like I said, unless they do something to show that. I mean, the only way realistically we'll ever see that is if they decide to actually start talking about this character in the main story again. You know, like that's it. Like if Goku has this epiphany where he's like, yo, I wanna know my family more or some shit like that, like, and Raditz is a part of that wish or whatever, then that's the only time I can see them actually doing like flashback scenes of Raditz's adventure with Vegeta or some shit like that. Or hey, if Goku was curious to even be like, hey Vegeta, weren't you with my brother? What was it like? And then Vegeta could tell stories. Shit, fuck it, right?
That's filler. Gives a fuck. gives a fuck.
But yeah, I mean, you know, like that's what it is. But like, I say all this shit just for argument's sake. You know, this is the only shit that would make sense for them to ever bring all this stuff up in the first place. Other than that, I mean, right now, I don't personally see it happening. There's bigger and better things that I would want to happen, and they need to do first and foremost before they ever decide to literally bring Raditz back in. Like, Bardock is lined up to even have some sort of appearance or conversation with his son. I would love to see that.
That'd be interesting.
Right. So yeah, like, going back to the whole Broly thing, right? Like, I definitely learned today that, you know, Super Saiyan Blue is, you know, all about that calm mind, ki control, and whatnot, which I originally thought like that was more leaning towards the Ultra Instinct line of, you know, technique and power and whatnot because of what it is. But quite literally, Ultra Instinct is literally directly more about your body just literally like moving on its own. Like you're on some water Bruce Lee type shit, like we like to put, you know, where Blue is more of a direct, like is more of a direct thing that's related to just being able to have really good key control and a calm mind. You know, Ultra Instinct takes that to like levels and levels beyond, because it's just like at that point you just completely empty your mind. Like it's not that you're not calm, you're just like you're chilling on another plane of existence. And that's why it's giving Goku a really hard time to even pull it off consistently at this point, because he's been struggling with it. And that makes sense, because he's not a deity. Like Goku is so godlike in his own right, because he's trying to pull something off that he not really meant for, you know? So that's how it goes. So any more thoughts on the whole Broly Blue situation?
Nah, I'm still not really for it. I don't really think it. No.
I just don't think it's completely necessary.
Yeah.
Like, even if the form intakes the calmality and fucking and what, strength?
Yeah, like to have a calm mind, key control, and obviously, you know, strength. Which, for argument's sake, let's say he does have that shit. Do you realize how much more stronger he's going to be at that point? Like just take this into consideration, okay? He was already as strong as he was during the movie. They already confirmed through these scans and all that Broly is significantly more stronger and more powerful. I mean, obviously, right? Because it's already been like a few years at least since that movie, from when this movie happens.
That's what pisses me off, though. It's like it's been so long between these two movies, and it's like, what the fuck has he been doing? Like, we thought all this time, like, yeah, he got stronger, and yeah, he's Broly, he doesn't need to train, he can just accidentally get stronger overnight, so there's no real worries about that for him. But I'm just sitting here wondering, like, you know, he could have been training and then been focusing on his primal instinct or whatever he needs to, and instead, after all this time, like, what, give him Blue? Like, something we know isn't even that hot anymore? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because, yeah, you make a great point. Like, as far as, like, you know, what we're currently seeing and
oh, wait. I was gonna say, I know why they're giving him Blue now, because they gotta make green. They gotta make room for Cell's green.
It can't have too much green on screen. Yeah. Can't have too much green on screen
on that bitch.
Yeah, nah, that's a lot. That's definitely a lot. But nah, I mean, like, all jokes aside though, like, you know, I'm seeing this whole thing as like, you know, they're taking the literal definitions of what these forms and transformations like do for people, and they're phrasing it towards Broly as if, like, you know, if he should achieve this or attain this if he ever does plan or want to, you know, control his shit a little bit better. Not to say that, you know, not to say that he completely needs it, but, you know, I feel like that's just an insert into people's heads to really, you know, get them thinking like, yo, Super Saiyan Blue Broly. And to what you were saying before, like Blue is not the, I don't even think you could really call, like, it's not the flavor of the month type, you know, like, it's not the hottest thing anymore because it's not the latest thing anymore. Obviously,
like, it's so not hot. Like, you gotta remember, Blue itself is red being stacked with Super Saiyan, and then even that didn't work, so he had to stack Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan on top of red, and even that wasn't so hot. He had to stack Ultra Instinct on top of Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan on top of red. Like, come on.
Like, I don't even know, like,
I just feel like it's gonna contradict what Broly has right now. Cause it's like even if it gives him more strength, like, is he gonna lose something now since he's more conscious, or, like, you know, since it gives him more calmality and shit?
Well, no,
Because,
like I don't think that at
like
all.
key control, whatever the fuck, key control.
Like I get your point. Like now that he doesn't have rage, like is that gonna make him less like, you know, I feel like we definitely talked about this too before. Like the whole idea of like characters that have no bounds and no restrictions, like doesn't that technically make them like more of a dangerous threat or, you know, whatever, opposed to someone that's, you know, all about their technique and they think before they do something, or, you know, like, and there's definitely two sides to the fence with that argument, because there's a lot of truth to both. And as we saw, Broly was the epitome of that. He was the, you know, the whole embodiment of that exact thought process. Was like, this guy has had no real opponents or real training his entire life. He finally gets a real fight with two of the most strongest characters in Universe 7, and he was bodying them with every miniature loss, like every little defeat that he had where they knocked him on his ass, and they were pushed to even use higher forms. Like they try to fight this dude in base, right?
Yep.
Didn't really work out. Instantly went Super Saiyan. They was not fucking around to the point where Vegeta went Super Saiyan God for the first time on screen. And then they were trying to do this one-on-one shit. They were like, yo, this guy's OD.
It got out of hand.
He gets stronger in the right fights. Like they had to cheat. They had to 2-on-1 this dude as Blue. And it wasn't enough. And
he wasn't even Super Saiyan yet, right?
Yo, right.
He was base. he was base.
He wasn't even base. At that point, he did have his Ozaru shit. He had the full power. Like he had the Ozaru jump.
Still wasn't Super Saiyan though. It wasn't his.
Super Saiyan was just a buff. That's
Super Saiyan happened basically when they fused. Like the...
No. Like
right?
No, right before they split. Like right before they dipped, I should say. He like that was when Frieza was like, Frieza was a dumbass for this. Frieza was a fucking idiot for that. Okay, because I don't know why because Frieza was like, oh, like he'll just work for me. Like let's try this shit. Kills his dad on the spot. He's like, oh, Broly, your father, he died off of the fucking blast on some head ass shit. And I don't understand why you would do that to a Saiyan. Like, you already know, like, Saiyans, like, you give them any kind of emotion, you're fucked. Like, why would you do that to Broly? All right, either way, he went Super Saiyan off rip. Like, can we just think about this for a second? Like, that was his first fight. That was his first real series of fucking fights. He look at the amount of look at the amount of shit he covered in one day.
Yeah.
Like you remember how like they struggled with Frieza for so many episodes back in the day, and it took little old bald ass Krillin to push Goku to go Super Saiyan. And then like Goku was able to defeat him, but he didn't kill him. And then it took another Saiyan from the fucking future to finish the job.
All right.
Here comes Broly on his debut. And he didn't even have to go through all those fucking Frieza forms. He fought Frieza in golden form. Hulked him. Hulked him.
That shit was embarrassing.
Dude, I bring all this shit up again for people that are watching and listening to understand, if Broly gets anything beyond what he currently has shown, he is only going to just continue to be the greatest character, most powerful character in all time. Like, easily. He was born, like Geekdom put it a great way. He was born a mutant. He was born a Saiyan mutant. there's no Saiyans like him. It was almost like he was a freak accident. Like the way he was born, like his DNA and everything getting built up, you know, when he was like, you know, bro, something went haywire when his shit was being fucking put together, right, by the Saiyan gods or, you know, whatever, right? and he's OD. Like, beyond belief. Beyond belief. Like, that's the whole point. Is like, listen, if he gets blue, everybody's fucked. Everybody's fucked. If he gets, dude, even, imagine him, he don't need blue. Super Saiyan 2. You're fucked. Dude, regular super, dude, understand this. Again, another reminder. He even was so strong that he even forced Gogeta to go blue. Don't forget that. And this was already during a point where they fucking broke reality. They were fighting in another dimension. This guy doesn't make sense. He's that broken. This is why I'm always going to tell people, fuck this whole Broly versus Jiren. Jiren is I don't worry about that confrontation at all, ever. They can mark that shit right now, build it up. Have something with Universe 11 and 7 again. Just do it. Just so that we can get it out the way, and that way I can literally tell people, I told you so.
I would love to see that shit.
I told you so. I would love to see it. I would, dude, that is like King Kong versus Godzilla. In its
like,
own respect.
Like, honestly, and the reason, like, I mean, it's gonna be a rough fight, I would think. Just based off, because we don't know how Jiren would handle Gogeta Super Saiyan Blue, or just Gogeta in general, just because that's a whole different nigga. you know what I mean? Like, Jiren has only seen like Ultra Instinct Goku by himself, well, with help, I guess.
Yo, and even then, like,
he didn't even fucking get he didn't even complete it, the form.
And they needed 3 of them to just eliminate him off stage.
Right. So like, I mean,
you know what?
It would be a good fight. It would be a good fight for sure.
You know the best way they could set that shit up, like, easily. All they have to do is have a scene where they're doing the training, right? Goku versus Broly, right? They're training. They're trying to, help his ass out, like to have more of a technique, control his shit, right? To be a little bit more like, of a fighter. And all Goku has to say is like, I feel like you would have a great fight against a guy like Jiren. All Goku gotta do, hit the button, call Zeno, make it happen. Literally, that's it. That is as easy as it is, just so that they can have like some sort of like another tournament.
You know what's
between
crazy?
7 and 11.
We've seen Ultra Instinct Goku versus Jiren, but we haven't seen Ultra Instinct Goku versus Broly. So we don't. You see where the comparisons kind of flop. Well, and Jiren hasn't even fought against Gogeta either, so we don't know about that. Like, I don't know. There's a little conspiracies in there,
Dude.
Depending on how that fight would go.
But you know what though? Jiren did meet Gogeta in fucking Heroes, so we know that's just
doesn't count. How dare you bring that up?
We know that it's not happening though. That's why. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So it does count in a way. It counts to not being official.
It counts to. Damn, that's fucked. Oh, damn, that's fucked up. It happened in Heroes, so we know it's not gonna happen. Damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I was just about to ask you, Kai, how you felt about all this shit so far, all this fucking this shit with like Broly, and like how OD he is written to the point where it's just like we thought they wrote themselves in a corner with Goku going Ultra Instinct. Like, nope. I think.
How did they write him in a corner by doing that?
Well, remember how we used to always say like Ultra Instinct is the way they booked it is like they are treating this form like it is the be all end all, like, and that's at least what it should be, because it's like,
you're right,
you know what I'm saying?
We did say that, but at the same time, even during the times when we were saying that, we still knew better. We still knew that there were levels to this shit, because we said that, like, we angels exist in Ultra Instinct, and guess what, mine's not as good as my dad's.
There's levels to it, right? Yep,
yeah,
we did say that.
Levels.
And they even introduced that. They even warned us that there'd be levels to it by not giving him the white hair immediately and calling it Omen.
Right. Yep. Even in that form, they fucking made it a big deal, dude. All the gods stood up for him.
That's like pre-Ultra Instinct.
Right.
That's not.
Yeah.
That's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole package.
Yeah. That's the Kaio no Ken. Oh.
Oh my god.
Bro.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They're gonna treat this shit. They're gonna treat this shit like the fucking 8 gates.
Nah. They're not gonna do that.
They're gonna treat this shit like the 8 gates.
They're not gonna treat this shit like the 8 gates. Do you know what the 8 gates are, Kai?
Not enough.
Okay. To put it simply,
Broccoli.
Guy
sensei, man.
to put it quickly, the 8 gates was a technique in Naruto that we only ever saw Might Guy and Rock Lee use. And the whole thing behind it, right, is that this was levels of power that it granted the user like OD everything. Like all your stats was up. Your speed, your strength, power. Everything. And there's 8 levels, right? When we learned of how far it went, and if you hit 8, we learned what that shit does. If you do 8, you're dead afterwards. Like your body just died. You die. Okay?
But the power you get from it, man.
They compare it to the powers of the Hokages and shit. Straight up. Like the strongest people, that is what the 8 gate gives you, essentially, right?
I would say
so
it's beyond.
We did not see that. Okay, we heard about it, but we always knew. We're like, yo, one day somebody's using this shit, whether it's Guy Sensei or Rock Lee. Okay, and yo, even when Rock Lee, he opened the 4th one. Come on, Kai. Okay, when he opened that shit, bruh, it was OD just off 4.
4 was crazy.
But fast forward to Shippuden, when they was at the fucking war, son, and guys, bro, nah, I'm not. That's all I'm gonna say. Guy Sensei opened up that shit, bruh. It was like, oh my god, it's happening. So I'm already gonna say, because fucking you're crazy for even fucking bringing that shit up, Brandon. Because Ultra Instinct is not gonna be that. If they ever make some, I will call that an ass pull right off rip. If they ever decide to have the fucking Dragon Balls to even be like, oh well, since Goku's not like inherently a deity, he's not an angel, he's not a god, right? He's not a higher being. Like if he ever does attain the highest level Ultra Instinct, then he's just gonna die. I will
the 8 levels.
Bullshit.
The 8 levels.
Nah, no.
The 8 levels.
Absolutely.
It's gotta be 7 if it's Dragon Ball.
Dude.
I mean, we already said there's levels to this shit. So gate 1 is pre-Ultra, you know, and then
there's no way.
Gate 2 at least is what, the white hair.
No.
and then after that, man, I don't know. They could do something. They could do it.
Absolutely, I'm not gonna accept that shit because, listen, that will piss me off. I mean, we've seen Goku die enough times already, so it's like at this point, it's whatever, you know. But I feel like if they were to do that, they would try to pull some shit like that's how they write him off completely. And I don't know if they're gonna do that because
imagine. Just imagine this, right? Just imagine, right? There's levels, right? Let's say there's levels. I mean, we already know there's levels, but let's say the highest level there is, right? Let's say the consequences to write this man off, right? You're not allowed to wish man's back.
Right.
That's all they got.
Exactly.
Do, right?
Exactly.
That's all you can't wish him back after he uses this power.
That would truly be bullshit, though.
That would be crazy.
That would be truly bullshit because it's just like, wow, you're really gonna ass pull your ass pulls? Like, how you gonna do that? Like, it's like
Dragon Ball logic. Welcome.
I know, but dude, and this is where I'm just like, nah, that's too much, dude.
I honestly wouldn't want that happening just because
no.
my man's Goku.
See, that would be the first time I would ever cry over something in Dragon Ball. To be honest, I would be ruined. Naruto has made me cry. Spider-Man has made me cry. Avengers. Dragon Ball has never made me cry. I've gotten hype, I've screamed, I've yelled, I've been upset, pissed. I've endured all the emotions besides that kind of sadness, because
Bro,
there's no emotional, like,
it's because there's a complete death. There's no
right. There's none of that shit exists
done.
in this shit.
They're done.
Like, yo, people that die in Naruto, they're dead. That's it. Yo.
Oh
Shout
my
out to fucking.
God.
Oh, see what I mean? You see what I mean? People that are gone, bro.
Fuck.
We don't have to ever worry about that shit in Dragon Ball, man. Because it's just like, oh, that sucks, but that's okay. They could wish them back. That's literally how they've conditioned
you're
us.
Dead. All right, bro. See you this weekend.
Exactly. It's like, oh, what are you doing on Saturday? Oh, I might die, but just wish me back. We'll go to the movie tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
All right, bet I'll start getting the Dragon Balls ahead of time. I'll catch you.
That's what I'm saying. Nah. Like, that's see,
That'll change shit, bro.
I would be so surprised if at that point, because that's how you know that the higher ups at Toei, Toriyama, Toyotaro, they would all have to be in agreement that, okay, it's finally time to now pass on this mantle to somebody else. But we've already discussed that based on...
That's not gonna happen.
Dude, I know, based on everything that we've talked about, and we've talked about this specifically before, where they don't have full faith in other characters like that. They've put all their eggs in the Goku and Vegeta basket, and hey, they have Broly now, right? Broly's a part of that basket. Okay, yes, they could be building up Piccolo and Gohan for all these smaller things and situations, but if the story's gonna continue, and I'm sure they're gonna have Oob eventually, Pan too, right? The story's gonna continue, right? Unless, Goku and them, obviously they die of old age, but Saiyans, the way they wrote them is just like they just fucking live forever and ever and ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they age differently than regular ass humans. It's like, when would they ever actually go? And like, that would be the first biggest step in a direction that we've been talking about. Goku's taking a backseat for so long, Vegeta taking a backseat for so long. If they go about it in that way, where it's like, if Goku reaches this level of Ultra Instinct, his body, since it's not, it's mortal based. It just, like, if he does it, he will have the most strongest power in all of existence, that he will just fade away after that on some Gates shit like you mentioned. And if that happens, and then they decide to pull some shit like, oh, but even the Super Dragon Balls wouldn't be enough to bring him back, whack. That would be crazy. I would be so upset, because I'm like, wow, this is the first time they have real death. And it's Goku. Real OD. Death. OD. That's crazy. Like, we're talking, we want to see him as a coach, a mentor, a teacher. Don't get involved. Let them fucking do it, right? They're gonna kill him for reals? Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
They're gonna kill him. Oh my god.
I don't know. I did not think this conversation was gonna go that way, but wow. That would be the first time that I would legitimately cry tears for something that happened in Dragon Ball, because I can. Dude,
yeah, I don't really remember like actually being that emotional and like when it comes to Dragon Ball, just because you subconsciously know they can wish mans back, or anybody back, really, technically, with Dragon Balls and shit.
Right. The only raw emotion we've ever felt is hype. Anytime something happens where more than likely it's when someone gets a new fucking transformation. I always will reference this. I'm pretty sure this was episode 65 or 66 of Super, when our boy Trunks went rage. We thought he was gonna go Super Saiyan 3, right? You and I was both screaming.
Yeah,
literally. We were screaming. We were sitting in the theater, and Goku, shit Ultra Instinct. Yo, I couldn't feel my arm. This guy was he fucking straight up like I felt like I was like in the air for 2 seconds. We were freaking out. raw hype. Sadness has never been a thing in Dragon Ball like that. Nah. That would be OD. I don't know.
Really.
I'm not ready for that shit. I'm not ready for that shit. Wow. Still no from you, Kai?
I mean, pretty much. I don't know. Like it's gonna take a lot to sway me on that.
That's fair.
It's just not right, you know. It's not natural.
It's not very Dragon Ball. I feel that. I definitely fucking feel that. So, all right, to wrap things up here, we do have a question from a fan off of the Gmail. Shoutouts. And this should be a fairly easy one, so we're not going to spend too much time on it because, again, this is we're wrapping up things here on the episode. This person writes, "Hey, fellas, love the show, and I'm constantly enthralled in the conversations that you guys get into, yo. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. My question is, do you think Funimation dropped the ball by not releasing Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT in Dragon Box form like they did with Z? If so, why do you think they didn't follow through with that? I'm sure it had to be because they didn't think they would get the return on them, but I, for one, would have loved to have the whole series in Dragon Box form. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that and video releases in general, since they have milked DBZ to death. That's absolutely true. And they end their email with, "Love the show, guys, and love that you're on a consistent release schedule. Cheers." Shout outs.
No, let me ask you.
Say what?
He said GT.
Is that the only thing that you got from that email?
A little bit. A little bit.
Go ahead.
Well,
I want to hear what your answer is.
I can't answer that part of the question, yeah? So it's because GT is failed. That is why they have no box. that is why they have no box.
Oh my god.
Failed series. Yes, that's all I have to say.
Kai?
I don't even know how to answer this. I had asked you about it when we were discussing the email before. I'm not, like, you told me about, the Dragon Box, and I was just kind of like, I don't really recall running into that. Like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so funny enough, right? Similar to you, I personally never actually ran into them either. Right. I actually was put onto the Dragon Boxes like right around the time when I was heavily involved with like Dragon Ball Insider, when I was doing that. And that's when I learned about it. And I was like, oh, so these are like the best sets. Like, this is the best format to ever watch Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, oh shit, like that's dope. How much are they? Well, the proof of the quality is in the price, because if you try to buy them shits now, they're like worth hundreds each. And there's like a shit ton of sets. Like, I don't know if it's like 9 like the orange bricks are, but right. If you eBay them right now, like each one is at a different fucking price, right? If you wanted to actually collect them shits like legit, which at some point I would like to do that, but I'm actually low-key holding out for them to just re-release those Dragon Boxes in like Blu-ray format or something, which I'm surprised they haven't even done that at this point. It's 2022. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
That's literally where I was about to take this conversation. It's like, it's so old, it's been so long. Why would you want that over something that's gonna be like remastered at this point? Right. Like, there's way better ways to get newer quality shit out there, and I still don't understand the appeal of putting out your best quality one time only at the very beginning and then never again. Like, that literally doesn't even get you a cash grab. Like, it might make those items more expensive in the future, but since it's so limited, it doesn't really do anything. Right. It's just something, it's something for collectors, people to get hype about.
And you know what?
That's all it is for.
Go ahead, Brandon, go.
Nah, because I was also gonna add, like, if we're gonna be completely real, like, how many boxes or bricks would GT even have? These motherfuckers. This is why it's failed. It is the series. Failed. Don't listen. The only good brick out of that series would be Omega Shenron and fucking Super Saiyan 4 Goku. That is the only brick. Everything beforehand is shit.
Dude.
I'm being real right now.
Stand with the whole Shadow Dragons arc. That shit should be like
the only
real
thing.
Dragon Ball stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was fire.
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, man, I'm not on the team shit on GT. Okay, I'm not. I know you are for sure, 100%.
I'm definitely not. I'm team shit on GT's first like 30 episodes.
Oh yeah, yo, listen. Those were so bad. Like
Those
really,
were so bad.
That's what. Yo, in case Brandon, I don't know if you remember this. I'm pretty sure I might have told you this forever ago, but they cut. Like, do you remember? Okay, because we have all the DVDs at home, right? You remember how they released the lost episodes?
Terrible.
Okay, but check it out, right? In Japan, those were not lost episodes. They started with all of those. And
I think I remember this.
And those episodes are what was a part of the downfall of GT. Because Japan thought, hey, if we're going to continue this, why don't we bring it back to a more of a original Dragon Ball feel and make Goku a kid and have him go on adventures looking for Dragon Balls with his granddaughter in Trunks, you know? And after coming off of the heat that was the final fight with Boo, you can't follow up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's where they went wrong. So by the time they brought it over to America in the early 2000s, they were like, if we're gonna expect people to fuck with this, we can't have this shit start like this. That's when they literally started off with that blue dude. I forget his name already. And I'm not talking about Baby, because he came after. But that's why they needed to start with all the action and shit, you know, the fighting and Goku going Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3 and 4 eventually, you know what I'm saying? That was the difference. So to answer this question, right? I absolutely think that Funimation did drop the ball on that, because they should have been fully aware that Dragon Ball Z especially, or well, not just Z, but Dragon Ball as an entirety is their like biggest thing that they owned, where they had the rights to redistribution and all that stuff, right? So the fact that they have re-released Dragon Ball Z in so many different formats, I feel like they should have just done a Dragon Box for everything. They should have just straight up had a Dragon Box for Dragon Ball, Z, and GT, made it one complete long fucking thing, include all the movies, do it all. Have the biggest ultimate collector's edition, which funny enough, Kai, you brought up collector's edition. Do you guys remember the recent collector's editions that flopped? Okay.
No.
This dude, I'm not even surprised that you didn't, because
it flopped so hard I don't even know about it.
It flopped so hard that literally the second people got their hands on it, you never heard about it again, because they tried to make it a selling point, and they used terms like 4x3, you know, like the way they worded all that shit is there was almost like they was trying to like almost mock the fans, like, oh yeah, you guys want this old looking shit, yeah, we're gonna give it to you. But it wasn't about just keeping it in its original aspect ratio. It was about keeping it in the most highest quality preserved version, which funny enough, like all of the shit from like from television in Japan, those are the best versions for some reason, right? And even with the technology that exists today, where they kind of like enhance this shit to not only just bring it back to keep its original integrity, but to just make it look like you know, that it could go on a fucking huge ass TV, like in high resolutions and shit, but obviously while maintaining its aspect ratio, they still managed to fuck it up somehow. I don't remember exactly what it was, but if you think about it, we haven't seen a new set since. You know, the only things that they've been releasing are like the Blu-rays of Super. So I think they dropped the ball on that shit. And you know, I'm sure that if they were to release Dragon Ball and GT Dragon boxes, I'm sure they would have sold just fine. I feel like they would have made a profit from it because of what I said. It's Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is a cash cow. It's not going anywhere. They're in the shits, and like they're gonna profit no matter what. And that's just how that shit goes. So I appreciate this comment, this question. And this is us reminding you guys now, if you guys want to hear us talk about any kind of comments, concerns, questions that you might have, hit us up, fullpowerpod@gmail.com. That's fullpowerpod@gmail.com. Brother Oosh, what do you gotta say to the people?
Fuck GT. You know. Continue living life, you know. Make sure you incorporate the gym, stay fit, you know. And that's all I gotta say for now.
Kai.
We've been talking about a lot of fucking bullshit lately, man. Fucking Blue Cell, Blue Broly, like fuck all this blue shit. Oh my god.
Duracell.
Raditz, I can't. Dirt. Stop. This is out of control. I think Dragon Ball fans are this bored right now. This is what's hot. This is crazy. That's how I feel. These have been some wild ass topics.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this week's episode of the Full Power Podcast. Make sure you guys are leaving a like, comment, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell for the notifications. If, of course, you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, please do us a solid and answer the polls, answer the comments, the questions, whatever. Leave us a question. And it's been your boy, Ooch. Your boy, brother, Ooch. The homie, Kai. Take care of yourselves. May the power protect you. Keep it locked, loaded right here on this podcast. Stay safe, stay clean, and stay the hell inside. We'll see y'all next time.